Good afternoon all, David here with the triumphant return of the Bug Report. If all goes well, this will be my weekly take on some of the most interesting gaming news stories. If things don't go so well, I'll delete the video and it never happened. To kick things off, at the recent DICE conference, analyst Jesse Schell gave a presentation in which he claimed that demos harmed a game's sales. He argued that consumers would try the demo and decide that that was enough and they didn't want to play the full game. While Mr. Schell was saying that it would be a good idea for developers to not put out demos, I have a different idea. Maybe they could just stop making shitty games. You see, the problem is that the consumers play the demo, realize that the game is not worth their time, and decide not to buy it. You could solve this by not putting out a demo, but wouldn't it just be better for everyone if you made a game that people then wanted to buy? That seems like the optimal solution to me. I don't buy a game based on whether or not it's got a demo, I buy it based on whether or not it's any good. But that's just personal preference. In other news, Metacritic has stated that EA is its publisher of the year. This has raised some ire from the community, but I have to say I think they've got a point. What other publisher could get away with what EA gets away with? They are not so much a games company as a miracle worker at this point. They have had disaster after disaster with the Mass Effect debacle, Warfighter being just rubbish. Who else could get away with lopping off bits of your game to be sold separately? Who else could release a game as terrible as Warfighter and then say to your face that it's actually good? Who else could put microtransactions in a single-player Dead Space game and people still buy their stuff? They have to be doing something right. They have to be doing something very right, or they would have failed miserably long ago. So yes, I will agree that EA is one of the greatest publishers simply for surviving when it really has no right to. And on a lighter note, I'm not really into this new wave of simulation games, but there is one that's piqued my interest: Buzz Aldrin's Space Program Manager. Now, in the interest of transparency, I have actually met Buzz Aldrin, so I might be biased slightly in favor of one of the most awesome people on Earth. Mr. Aldrin is acting as an advisor on the project to ensure its authenticity. The game will include a sandbox mode where you can go about your business at your leisure, in space, as well as a campaign mode, leading from the Cold War space race up to a manned mission to Mars. Being a huge space nerd, I'm going to be playing the hell out of that and might just cover it on the channel. That about wraps it up for this week. If you have anything to add, please feel free to leave it down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and good night.